Hey, my name is Kris Hauswirth with the Energy Department at Pro Cooperative. My special guest today is Mike Hildenbrand. He's our Cenex Premium Diesel representative. Hey, Mike, we've got a whole row of tanks here where we store our Ruby Fieldmaster. When you think about the difference between Ruby, Premium Diesel, Ruby Fieldmaster, it's a brand name that's talking about something specific. When you think about the difference between Ruby and number 2 dyed fuel, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
So the biggest things, Kris, right, are what's in the fuel, right? And we've put the engineering into the fuel to know what's needed, right? The things that we're going to talk about that come to mind right away. The stabilization that fuel needs in today's diesel engines. So we're talking about, optimizing the combustion on the combustion side that helps us create clean exhaust, keeping those filters clean, maximum filterability, and then certainly our advanced aggressive detergent package that cleans that fuel system.
So tell me more about detergent in fuel. When I hear detergent, I think of my laundry detergent because I'm simple.
Yep.
What does detergent mean in fuel?
So, my analogy is very simplistic. I look at it as the scrubbing bubbles of the fuel system, right? Literally, the old scrubbing bubbles commercial, right? That's our fuel as it moves through your fuel system continuously. It's cleaning those systems and keeping lines and pumps and injectors clean.
Sure. Talk to me about water in diesel fuel. And I know that there's, if a tank is half full and you have a temperature change, condensation can collect and get in the fuel, but also water, it comes from it's naturally occurring as a part of the refinery process. There's always a tiny bit of water in diesel fuel. What's that premium diesel additive? What's Ruby Fieldmaster going to do to help us manage that?
Correct. So we know that all fuel has some water in it, like you said, through the refining process. As fuel tanks sit, that headspace in that tank can create condensation, which then can create more water in that fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel uses a demulsifier additive that helps separate that water out to help it to the bottom of the storage tank. We know through the engineering work that we've done, our engine manufacturers don't want that water in the fuel. So we know the best place for that water is out of the fuel.
What would happen if that water did try to, if it tried to send it through the fuel system? What's going to happen as it goes through the process inside the engine?
So we demulsify the water. The other theory with handling water, a lot of your bottled additives will emulsify the water. That's where they chemically bond with the water and send it through the system. We just know that simply no matter what state that water's in, we don't want it going through that engine.
Another thing, when you're thinking about fuel and diesel engines, a common thought is cetane. What's the value of cetane and what sets Ruby Fieldmaster apart when it comes to cetane?
So the end game with today's diesel engine technology is meeting the government's emission standards. You meet those emission standards through complete combustion. Cetane relates directly to the complete combustion of fuel. Cetane, the higher the cetane, the quicker the fuel is going to light, the more complete it's going to burn. That's what we're looking for on the combustion side, is that atomization of fuel, that complete burn that'll help us achieve that clean exhaust.
And if I'm using Ruby Fieldmaster, do I need to be looking at other fuel additives to help me boost the cetane? Is there anything extra that I need to add if I'm using Ruby Fieldmaster?
Our hope is that that you don't and that your customers don't, right? Our single dose of additives, we've put a lot of engineering into that additive package. Our single dose is truly all you need. It's terminally injected, right? When the fuel is picked up at the terminal, the additives are in there. My ask to your end users is that they let you deliver the fuel and don't add anything to it.
So, Mike, let's get on the farm. Let's get to the customer's place. They've got their fuel barrel. What are some things that they should think about? How should that tank be positioned for success in keeping it maintained?
Yeah, that's good. So tank maintenance is one of the areas we want to help you partner with your end users. And it starts with the tank set. Seems very basic, right? But you've got a typical horizontal tank. It's got a fill end and a pump end. And
just drop it on the ground and let it go, right?
Yeah.
However it sits, it sits.
Yeah, right. We want that tank tilted a little bit away from that pump. We want the pump on the high end because we push, because that water settles to the bottom. With it will go any crud or bacteria that's in that fuel. We want that to settle down at the drain end, so if we needed to, we could drain whatever's going on in that tank out and keep it away from the pump that's lifting good fuel out.
So along that theory, or along that train of thought on tank maintenance, how often do I need to be thinking about what's going on inside my barrel? It's if I've inherited, my grandpa had a fuel barrel that passed to my dad, and now it's my fuel barrel. It's always been good. We've never had a problem. I can just forget about it, right? It's okay. Or what? How often should I be thinking about what's going on inside there?
So that's very typical, right? As we see a barrel that's been on the farm for years and we've never done anything with it because we've never had problems. That doesn't mean there might not be something going on inside of that barrel. So it's good to get a look, whether that's with some water finding paste, or we can help your customers pull a sample out of the bottom and just know as a baseline what's going on at the bottom of that tank. From there, we like to see tank maintenance at least annually with a filter change on the pump. And then depending on what's going on in the bottom, maybe we're draining that water bottom off. We're looking at having that tank cleaned.
Mike, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for, this morning you were talking to our drivers and training our team about premium diesel. We appreciate you as a resource, and you're available for us when we have questions of our farmers. So thanks for joining us. Also, another mention, the premium diesel from Cenex is not only a dyed off-road usage, right? We've got highway available for highway use in our Roadmaster, the different brand, but is there a difference between Roadmaster on the highway and Fieldmaster off highway? Good point, just color. Roadmaster XL is our premium road fuel. The comprehensive additive package is the same. The only difference is color for on-road versus off-road. So thank you very much, Kris, for having me. I'm excited to be at the Pocahontas bulk plant today, and we're grateful for your partnership. Thanks, Mike.